You think your time is yours. It's not. Your attention has been captured and your brain has been rewired. We tell ourselves that slavery ended long ago, but it didn't vanish. It evolved. Chains today aren't made of iron, they're made of dopamine. When you open your phone and feel that little buzz of anticipation, when you scroll just one more time because something new might appear, you're not making free choices. You're reacting to chemical hooks designed to keep you trapped. Social media doesn't sell apps, it sells you. Your time, your focus, your identity are packaged and auctioned to advertisers. In ancient times, slaves mined silver and gold. Today, we are the mine. Here's the cruel genius of it. The chains are invisible. You don't see the hours evaporating while you scroll. You don't feel the dopamine drip eroding your focus. But day after day, the cost is the same. Life traded for distraction. One Stoic warned that people aren't short on time. They just waste much of it. The attention economy is proof. It wastes life not through force, but through pleasure. Another philosopher warned that the mind is sacred. It must be guarded from invasion. Yet today, the invasion arrives not with armies, but with glowing rectangles. We open the gates willingly. We even beg to be entertained by our captors. Plato once described prisoners in a cave, chained to the wall, staring at shadows cast by firelight. They mistook shadows for reality. Only when freed did they see the truth. Today, our cave is digital. Our shadows are memes, clips, and endless feeds. And like those prisoners, freedom begins only when we dare to turn away. But here is the subtlety. In Plato's cave, chains were made of iron. In our world, they're made of dopamine. Chemical chains are harder to break than steel. Dopamine is not evil. It is the brain's way of signaling value, of motivating action. But the system hijacks it. Our ancestors released dopamine for a successful hunt, or a moment of intimacy, or learning something vital. Now it fires for cat videos, notifications, and outrage headlines. A distracted society is easier to control. Bread and circuses worked for the Romans. Endless scrolling works for the modern empire. Two modern thinkers warned us. One imagined a future where people are enslaved by force, under constant surveillance, punished for disobedience. The other imagined a future where people are enslaved by pleasure, drowning in distractions, begging for their chains. Look around. Which world do we live in? The answer is both. But the most powerful chains are the ones we don't want to remove. Every swipe is a slot machine pull. Every red notification badge is a modern whip cracking at your brain. Every algorithm is a puppeteer, pulling the strings of your attention. Casinos once used bright lights and no clocks, and now the casino fits in your pocket, and you don't even realize you're gambling away the only currency that matters, your time. Think about it. The average person spends 2.5 hours a day on social media. That's 38 full days every year. In 10 years, that's a year of life surrendered to scrolling. In a working lifetime, 5 to 7 years gone. An entire childhood, a business never built, a book never written, a life unlived. Life is long if you know how to use it, but waste it, and even 100 years feels short. So what is the true cost of distraction? Not just time. It is the erosion of your ability to think deeply. It is the shrinking of your capacity to love fully. It is the slow decay of your soul's hunger for truth. A distracted mind can't rest. It can't reflect. It can't create. It becomes a puppet of algorithms. This is why dopamine slavery is so dangerous. It feels like freedom, but it is the softest, most dangerous form of tyranny, one you enjoy. But here's the good news. If chemical chains can be forged, they can be broken. One philosopher said that freedom is not granted by governments or laws, but by mastering yourself. Real freedom begins when you refuse to be ruled by impulses. Every time you resist the tug of the scroll, you are practicing true freedom. Another reminded us that we become what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. If you repeatedly surrender your focus, distraction becomes your habit. But if you repeatedly guard your mind, strength becomes your habit. And here's the darkest warning: what you consume eventually consumes you. Spend your life scrolling shallow content, and you become shallow. Spend your life chasing novelty, and depth disappears. Spend your life comparing yourself online, and envy eats your soul. Think of your attention like a bucket. Every distraction pokes a hole in it. No matter how much time you pour in, it leaks out. But if you patch the holes, if you reclaim your attention, the same bucket fills with meaning. Or picture your attention like soil. If you keep sowing into poisoned ground, nothing grows. But if you cultivate it with care, the same field produces abundance. That's the hidden battle, not just where your minutes go, but what kind of person those minutes are shaping. So how do we break free? Step 1, audit, face the mirror. Look at your screen time, not what you believe, not what you intend, but the raw number. Step 2, reframe. Stop asking, how much do I use my phone? Start asking, how much of my life am I giving away? Step 3, replace. Remove one artificial spike. Replace it with one natural one. Read a page. Walk outside. Call a friend. Joy will return to things that last. And each time you choose this path, the chains weaken. Because the system only thrives if you feed it. Plato's prisoners found freedom by turning away from the shadows. You will find freedom by turning away from the scroll. A Roman emperor reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The attention economy thrives on you forgetting that truth. Remember it, and the chains begin to fall. Orwell feared that truth would be hidden from us. Huxley feared we would drown in a sea of irrelevance. Both were right, but you don't have to choose either fate. You can reclaim the only freedom that matters, control over your attention. Imagine a man who works hard, earns well, but spends hours every night scrolling. He has money, but no memories with his children. He has gadgets, but no depth of thought. He has freedom on paper, but in practice, he is enslaved. Now imagine the opposite. A man who earns modestly, but guards his attention fiercely. He invests in his mind, in his relationships, in his purpose. He may not appear rich by society's standards, but his time is his own. That is the difference between distraction and freedom. Not the size of your paycheck, but the ownership of your attention. Kierkegaard warned that despair comes not from suffering, but from living a life that isn't truly yours. Look at the millions drowning in distraction. Their lives look full, but inside, they feel hollow. That is the despair of wasted time. When I wrote my book, The True Cost of Living, I realized the system doesn't just steal through money, it steals through attention. Every swipe has a hidden price tag, payable not in dollars, but in minutes of your life. Your task is simple. Audit your screen time tonight. Pick one app to remove. Reclaim 1 hour. Buy back one piece of your attention. Stop giving away your life for free. Your attention is worth more than gold. Protect it, or someone else will own it. If this helped you rethink your time, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Hit like if you're ready to start buying your attention back, and try the true cost calculator at secureyourtime.com to see how much of your life you're trading away.